My vacation, I'm gonna go in with the first book, which is Skin of the Sea. It's a book about a mermaid, referred to as a Mami Wata in the story. She is a creation of Umoja, and if anyone doesn't know who Umoja is, she is a Orisha. For people who are familiar with Greek gods and Greek goddesses, there are Yoruba gods and goddesses referred to as the Orisha. Simi is one of the mermaids. Her job is essentially to bless people while they're passing, and essentially a young boy is thrown overboard from a slave ship, and she notices that he actually isn't dead. So the premise of the story is it is very possible that she could be punished. She goes on an adventure not only to return the young boy named Koda to his family, but also to get forgiveness from Olodumare. So it's a very interesting read. I liked the book. It essentially is an adventure story, and I really liked the way it blended in a lot of African mythology. One thing I will say is there were certain characters that were introduced and I liked them, but I didn't feel very connected to them. More backstory on the other characters that are introduced would have been nice, especially as, you know, the stakes got higher. Having that attachment to them, I think, could really drive that point home. I want to give this book about 3.4 stars. I really liked it. I would recommend it. I would definitely read it again, and if this were a movie or a show, I would watch it. It does have a second book, but that book kind of picks up where this book ends, and honestly, I don't feel too compelled to read it. With that being said, like, I feel like this book kind of closes where it closes, and I want to read the second book, but I don't feel like rushed to start it, if that makes sense. The next book I read was Loved One, which I thought was a very interesting read. Please be wary when you look for reviews of this book because people are kind of spoiling the book. Julia's best friend and first love, Gabe, passes away. She's tasked with finding a couple of items that he owned, which leads her on an adventure, essentially. I wouldn't say it's an adventure, but she has to essentially go somewhere and have some very hard conversations. You are in this period of time and you get flashbacks of her interactions with Gabe and things that happened. It's interesting seeing how this book unfolded, and I actually liked it. There's this one character who is on my mind, and I'm just like, I don't really understand why they were introduced. So that's why I say read it like it's a slice of life. I would rate this book potentially 3.7. The last book that I will review for today is The Poppy War. I read the very first book and I annotated it. I liked it. This is about a war orphan named Rin. Her name is Runin, actually, or Runin. She goes by Rin, and essentially to escape a child marriage, she enrolls in a military academy. She gets shamanic powers literally from the moment that she is practicing for the exam, getting into the school, and experiencing the politics of the school. I really liked and appreciated the way that the author talked about elitism, especially in academia. I do think that this book was a good book. I thought it was very interesting seeing how these characters dealt with the situations that were given to them, the desperation for Rin to find a place in society when there aren't many cards that she was dealt with. I give this book 4 stars. The only concern I have is that there are a lot of trigger warnings, and people need to be very wary of the fact that there are scenes in this book that reference real life horrors, like real life there's the rape of Nanking. That is a real life massacre that happened, and that is mentioned in this book. And I think when you read it, you need to be able to understand that type of context. Type of media I tend to consume, they utilize real life events and create stories about war, tragedy, the cycle of war. There are a lot of people that just genuinely are not happy with the way in which those historical events were used in the book. I just started the second book in the series, and I will see. I'll probably do a more in-depth review of the entire series when I get there. I also got a Count of Monte Cristo, which, as you can see, is a very thick book, but I'm looking forward to reading this, and I heard it was good. I heard it was tea. It's a revenge novel, so I'm really excited to read this. Another book on my TBR is Alchemized. I've heard a lot of good things about it, but I'm 30 pages in, and it's already a lot for me. I don't know what to expect of this book at all. I'm going in blind. Like, at least with the Poppy War, I knew exactly which chapter I had to brace myself for. With this book, I don't know how bad it could get.